Just let me know when we're up and running. Okay, welcome everyone to the Monday, July 21st caucus and work session of the Albany Common Council. Mr. Jimenez, please call the roll.
Adams, Anane, Ballerin, Clark, Conti, Farrell, Flynn, Frederick, Hoey,
Here.
Johnson,
Present.
Keegan, Kimbrough,
Here.
Love, Robinson, Zamer, 7 present. We're also joined by City Clerk Shaniqua Jackson, Corporation Counsel Robert McGee, Research Counsel Jake Iceland, Research Counsel Robert Wenner, Legislative Director Brian Jimenez, Junior Policy Analyst Alyssa Kamara, Junior Legislative Aide Carly Johnson, and 9th Ward Intern Margaret McCallum.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to skip to the MCs that are coming for the CFA application. We'll ask the folks from Capitalize to come up. There's be resolution 90, 72, 25, 91, 72, 25, and 92, 72, 25.
Got it. Thank you. Beautiful. Good afternoon. I'm Kaylee Hogan-Schnitker, Senior Economic Developer at Capitalize Albany Corporation. I'm here this evening to propose some resolutions for the 2025 CFA Consolidated Funding Application process through the state of New York. Several of the sources of funding included in this round of the REDC CFA funding require official municipal support for applications, so that's why we're here this evening. We received 14 applications, including internal requests, and 8 projects either have requested or do require Common Council approval. I will list those here momentarily. You may recall that in the past, these resolutions, if they are passed for CFAs, do not necessarily obligate the city to the project. Rather, approving these resolutions open the doors for submission for the applicants. So should an application that requires a resolution be submitted without that resolution, the application will be dismissed from consideration. So we want to make sure that these applicants have access to the greatest amount of resources from which they're eligible for. And so some of our applications that you see resolutions in front of you are for the New York Main Street Homes and Community Renewal. The Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region is requesting funding for their South End Main Street development. The Albany County of Economic Development, Conservation, and Planning is seeking funds for their Albany County Comprehensive Plan through the Smart Growth Community Planning Program through the New York State Department of State. Capital Streets for their Capital Region Campus to Campus Trail project. They are seeking funds from the Environmental Protection Grant Fund Program for Parks, Preservation, and Heritage from the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. And additionally, we have a few from the city as well in front of you this evening. The City of Albany will also be applying for their project for the Lincoln Park Northwoods Landscape Architecture Design and Plan, or Architecture and Design Plan through the Environmental Protection Funds grants programs for Parks, Preservation, and Heritage Office through the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Preservation. The City of Albany will also apply for Swinburne Park Ice Rink Roof and Park Plan through the Environmental Protection Funds grants programs for Parks, Preservation, and Heritage through the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation. Additionally, the City of Albany will be applying for the City of Albany HVAC feasibility study project through the Climate Smart Communities through the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. City of Albany will be applying for funding to support the City of Albany Natural Resource Inventory Project through Climate Smart Communities through the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And finally, the City of Albany will also be applying for funding in support of the Albany 2030 Comprehensive Plan Update through Smart Growth Communities Planning Grant Program through the New York State Department of State. Any questions? I do have applicants here this evening if you do have more technical questions.
Any members have questions? No? Ms. Farrell?
I'm all for all of us getting funding. I am curious about the Natural Resource Inventory Project. Not for any, just, I think it sounds neat, so it's not necessarily something that looking for hard-hitting information, but yeah, I just, more of, we have, I know in my ward there's a lot of different environmentalists, and I think that it would be, they would love to be able to watch a little bit of the video and hear a little bit about it, so.
Okay, so this was a project that our sustainability team that works in my department came up with. And basically, it's an inventory compiling. We have a tree inventory for the city, but we don't really have an inventory of other natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, species of interest, and things like that. And this would, having that inventory perhaps inform kind of future planning and development. So if we were ever to look at our planning and zoning or as part of the 2030 plan update, anything we want to kind of be aware of. And it will also unlock potentially some other grant opportunities. Once we have inventories of our natural resources, we can work with the climate smart communities on sub-projects. Is that helpful?
Yeah, no, that's great. Just a quick, will that include potential places for solar within the city?
Sorry.
Would that include solar opportunities as well?
I'll have to get back to you. I mean, we are just in terms of like solar, you mean like kind of having solar arrays in the city?
More of something where that would be a potential, like I know White Plains is doing a lot of things where they're putting solar on all sorts of places, and more of just something to say like, here's some different potential places for solar panels.
I think it could potentially
things like that.
identify areas of interest if we have like vacant parcels of land that are not really, doing anything productive that wouldn't bother residents to put stuff there. We could include it in. I know there are some separate studies going on. Jason West and his team have looked at potential sites, and they have been evaluating all of our city buildings for solar potential, including our 628 Delaware building. We're about to put solar panels on that in the next couple of weeks.
Ms. Frederick?
Just a follow-up to that question from Councilmember Farrell. When looking and collecting the list of the natural bodies within the city, are you looking at those like only registered at the national level, or are you also looking at potential new locations that could qualify for the designation?
I think it's potential new locations and what exists, and I think some of it's looking at climate mitigation measures. So, where do we have those natural wetlands that maybe need to be protected for more rainfall? What things are kind of covered by different FEMA designations. So it's a little bit of local, a little state, and also federal planning. And I think just having that inventory would allow us to do a lot in a lot of different areas.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Ballerin?
Thank you. One quick question. For Swinburne Park, if this gets the funding, is there a time frame of when these repairs would get done and when, if the ice rink would be open this winter?
Yes, so you're going to see in your 2026 proposed operating budget, we are going to look to replace the roof either way. Typically, the CFA awards are announced in December of this calendar year or January, but would be right around or before the time we would borrow for the funds. So if we're awarded, we are eligible for, the roof's going to cost around $1 million from what I understand, give or take. We're eligible for up to $675,000 for this project from OPRHP. We would just use that to offset and not borrow the funds. So we're putting in either way, but we know we need to do the roof. And I think I did speak to State Parks, and they thought this was a compelling project. Obviously, we have an urgent need, and it's a widely used facility in an area of the city that lacks some recreation, so it was a competitive project. Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we had planned on doing our executive session right here up front, but I was kind of hoping more folks would be here for it. So I can move forward through the agenda
Yeah.
to try to give folks a chance to get here. So jumping into our agenda, we'll have that public hearing on ordinance 68-121-24 by Mr. Anani. And for approval of minutes from a previous meeting, I will be offering the July 7th of 2025 meeting minutes for approval. And moving on to ordinances introduced by Ms. Love. We'll have ordinance 117225, the ordinance authorizing and directing the grant of an aerial easement to, I think it's the convention center, yeah. I think it's to build, it's also to build a bridge to 126 State Street. That will be a referral to our planning committee. Excuse me? No, that was a misfire. Yeah. I should have started by saying it was a misfire. But you guys got to be used to it by now. I'm always skipping something. So, yeah, so then next ordinance is by me. It's ordinance 1272, not 71, 25. It's an ordinance authorizing and directing the grant of an easement to Center Square LLC over a portion of the right-of-way adjacent to 1233 Broadway, also known as 33 Center Street. The purpose is to build a handicap ramp onto the structure. That'll be going to planning. Okay. Then into resolutions. 817225R by Ms. Farrell. It's a resolution of council supporting the city in its application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Climate Smart Communities Grant Program for state assistance and funding of Albany Natural Resource Inventory Project. That will be considering that. Then next by Mr. Robinson, and we're going to be joined by. Okay, I'll figure it out. So, Mr. Robinson, 827225R. It's a resolution of council supporting the city in its application to the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Environmental Protection Fund grant program for parks preservation and heritage for state assistance and funding towards the Swinburne Park Ice Rink roof and park plan project. That'll be under consideration. Next by Mr. Ballerin, 837225R. It's a resolution of the council supporting the city in its application to the New York State Department of State Smart Growth Community Planning Program for state assistance and funding, the Albany 2030 Comprehensive Plan Update Project. That's under consideration. Then next, by Ms. Farrell's Resolution 8472, 25R. It's a resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Climate Smart Cities Grant Program for the state assistance and funding, Albany HVAC feasibility study. Again, that's under consideration, that resolution. Next resolution by Councilmember Johnson, 857225R. A resolution of the Common Council supporting the city in its application to the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, Environmental Protection Fund, grant program for parks preservation and heritage for state assistance and funding towards the Lincoln Park Northwoods Landscape Architecture and Design Plan Project. We'll be voting on that. The next, by Mr. Anani's, 867225R, resolution of the council declaring its intent to act as lead agency for the seeker review of ordinance 2381-24R and declaring it a type 1 action. Again, that's under consideration and we're moving forward with that. Next. It was 22. I actually looked at this.
That should be the one regarding the mixed-use campus institutional changes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then changing the zoning. So where are we now? Okay. Next, also Mr. Anani, 877225R. Resolution of council declaring its intent to act as lead agency for the state environmental review of ordinance 68-121-24 and declaring it a type 1 action. We'll be voting on that. Then next, by Mr. Ballerin, 887225R. It's a resolution of Common Council consenting to the appointment of Paige Barnum to the Planning Board. It'll be a referral to planning. Then next, also by Mr. Ballerin's resolution of the Common Council consenting to the appointment of Celeste Roller Harp to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Again, referral to planning. And then on to the items to be added by majority consent. It's 907225R by they're all by Mr. Ballerin. It's a resolution supporting Albany County Department of Economic Development, Conservation and Planning in its application to the New York State Department of State Smart Growth Community Planning Program for state assistance funding. The Albany County Comprehensive Plan Project, that's 907225R. Then next, also by Mr. Ballerin, 917225R. It's a resolution of the Common Council supporting the Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region in its application to the New York State Homes and Community Renewal for state assistance funding, South End Main Street Development Project. We'll be voting on that. These are all capitalized, just spoke about these. Last but not least, 927225R, also by Mr. Ballerin, a resolution of council in support of Capital Streets in its application to New York State Office of Parks, Recreation and Preservation, Environmental Protection Fund Grants Program for Parks, Preservation and Heritage. We'll be voting on that also. That's the last one.
Kelly,
We're adding by
I can't find the MCs. Were they handed out to us? Or they attached to?
Well, they're on here. You see them on here, right?
What's the front cover?
It's the legislative order of events.
Okay,
It's the second page.
I got it now. I'm
Third,
good.
well, third
Thank
page,
you.
page
I
actually.
didn't know where it was. Thank you.
Mr. Conti?
Can you, excuse me, can you speak into your microphone? Can you speak into your microphone? Thank you.
So at the last planning committee meeting, the committee moved out the accessory entertainment ordinance with a favorable recommendation. There were amendments to it. The ordinance needs to be amended before a public hearing can be scheduled. I think Rob shared the amended version with staff, but I was hoping to be able to at least do the amendments tonight if that was possible. I don't know.
We'd only received the draft with the amendments at 2 o'clock today, so we didn't get a chance to print them out.
You got it
for
at 2 o'clock
distribution.
today?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that there's a long process here, and I think there's an eagerness to get this done, to have a new system in place. So, you know, there's the amendments, and then another meeting has to have the public hearing, and then it's 30 days after that, so we're looking at maybe 90 days.
Are members okay with moving forward with the amendment?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, is it possible to get it printed out so members can read it real quickly? Sorry to put that on you guys, but I think it's important for just people have it, and we can at least breeze it real quickly. I mean, for the committee members, there were certain parts that we were specifically focused on, so I think it'll be.
Yeah, there was one change related to the temporary, the length of time for the temporary license, that it would automatically convert rather than being extending, and that there was some language in there, so maybe you want to look at that, but.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't do it tonight, we'll do it at the next meeting, but I'm just saying that there is it does add time on.
Is it possible to get copies? Is that
We'll
too much?
start printing them out.
Thanks.
Thank you, sorry about that, guys.
In which case, if we get it all together and everyone's okay with it, we'll have to recognize Mr. Conti to do the amendment. Okay. So that's it for the agenda. So I guess at this point, we may as well just do our executive session, so. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular person. Can I
And
get
then
a,
Just so the members of the public know, we unfortunately have to empty the chamber, but we'll have everyone come back in and still have the hearing and public comment. So apologies to make everyone move, but
Okay. Is this back on? Okay. You mind working? I never do the timing thing like sitting there for 5 minutes.
Are we giving them 5 minutes? I have 3 here. I'm not too sure how many we have down there. Jake, can you check?
Everybody's getting up. Okay, I'm going to get started here. So, welcome everyone to the Monday, July 21st meeting of the Albany Common Council. Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams,
Present.
Anani,
Present.
Valorant,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Conti,
Here.
Farrell,
Here.
Flynn, Frederick,
Here.
Hoey,
Here.
Johnson, Keegan. She's here somewhere. Kimbrough,
Here.
Love, Robinson,
Here.
Zamer. 12 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Let's go. Move on. Okay. We are about to have a public hearing on ordinance 68, 121, 24 by Mr. Nani. Mrs. Madam Clerk, will you?
A
read the
notice, sorry, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a common council public hearing will be held on July 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. and will be held in advance of the potential passage of the following ordinance. This meeting will be an in-person meeting in the common council chambers, City Hall, and will be held on the following matter. Ordinance 68, 121, 24, an ordinance amending Chapter 375 Unified Sustainable Development Ordinance of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to permitting accessory dwelling units. Documents may be inspected between the hours of 8:30 a.m., 5 p.m., Monday through Friday in the office of the Common Council, 24 Eagle Street, Room 206, Albany, New York, 12207. Efforts will be made to make documents available for viewing online. This public hearing will be held pursuant to guidelines established in open meeting law, and anyone wishing to be heard can submit written comments to commoncouncil@albanyny.gov or provide in-person testimony on the ordinance before the Common Council for consideration. The public hearing will be live streamed on our YouTube page. We encourage all interested parties to submit written comments by July 21st, 2025. Anyone wishing to be heard will have an opportunity to do so at the above stated time and location.
Okay, so we'll have our only speaker step up, and you have to speak in relation to the ordinance only. Members may or may not ask questions of you in relation to the ordinance.
Our speaker is Jim Reed.
You state your name and address and before you speak.
Jim Reed, AKA Edward James Reed, 30 Fairlawn in Albany. So I belong. I'm speaking really pretty much in ignorance, which I don't like doing, but that's sort of where I am, partly because I stumbled across the issue later than I maybe should have. But also I think because there's not been a lot of information floating across my screens or newspaper, unless I've missed it, which I, again, out of ignorance, I admit is a possibility. But I just wanted to make a couple of points or requests. And they sort of get balled up in the idea that it seems like we need a real full-fledged analysis and report on what the ADUs are intended, what is intended to be addressed, what the problem is, how this would address the problem that it tries to, and beyond that, how the whole thing would work in enough detail so that the issues that people have raised, and I've seen some of them, secondhand raised, all the issues that other people are seeing from it and issues that would come out of a staff report or whatever it might be. Other people's experience with ADUs, how to limit it, how to structure it correctly in a way that gives it the best chance of succeeding. And taking a step back from that, some justification for really what the purpose is and how this would address that purpose. So this is, what I'm saying is partly a reflection on what we've seen in recent months. We've seen a lot of chaos that has come about through quick decisions, ill-advised decisions in a lot of cases, but quick decisions that were not presented with analysis, with justification for what's being done or what action's being taken. And the result is chaos. And we sure don't need chaos in the city at this point. We have enough issues already to deal with rather than adding more to that mix. And all the issues that have to do with implementation and enforcement and thinking the whole thing through in multiple iterations really need to be addressed. And like I said, maybe they have been, I don't know that, but I haven't seen that kind of report. And if that were done and that existed and it supported the whole idea and provided legitimate answers to the issues that would come about in implementation, that would give everybody, I think, a lot more comfort. So that's it. It's been a long day for all of us, I imagine.
Thank you, sir.
But thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure.
Remember my ignorance plea, okay?
I certainly appreciate you coming, but my question for you is, have you gone back to watch any of the planning meetings in which we discussed all of those issues?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
I would strongly suggest that you do, because a lot of the information that you're seeking has been thoroughly discussed throughout multiple meetings on this legislation before it was moved from committee, including with expertise from all of our city departments.
Okay. And can I ask you a question? That's all right. You don't have. I don't have to. Okay.
Go ahead. Sure.
I was just wondering, did that, apart from that, whatever has been done and discussed there, did that also extend to getting input and getting experiences from other municipalities based on their experiences?
Yes, and the legislation, the ADU legislation is actually based upon ADU legislation that has been passed in some larger municipalities with a specific targeted goal of expanding the types of housing that can support folks who need single-floor living. So our aging population, folks who may have disabled children, and also being able to very rapidly and cost-effectively expand affordable housing options in the city. So if you're looking for a municipality that's sort of, I don't know, a ways into ADU, you might want to look at a place like Los Angeles. Is it the whole package in terms of resolving all of those issues? No, but it is certainly an effective tool to have in your toolbox. I think the other piece that's incredibly important for the public to know and understand is that we did thoroughly review with the planning department, for example, the mapping of all of the properties in the city that would be able to, within the confines of the legislation, actually have a separate structure added to the property. And that was incredibly limited because our land use is already so dense, and you still have to confine to land usage requirements that are already set forth in our zoning map. So you said is undeveloped on your parcel. So the majority of housing in the city of Albany would not be able to add to their structure. And even if they did, they would still have to conform to all the rules and regulations around ensuring that that additional structure was consistent with the design and scope of the neighborhood. So you couldn't put something that's grossly differentiating between the existing house if you're adding a new structure. But what we anticipate with the ADU expansion is predominantly people converting existing housing with no additional footprint to the neighborhood. So, for example, potentially converting a basement or an existing garage into habitable space. We know that there's going to be minimal, in order to do all the things that you would have to do for an ADU, because it has to function like an apartment, has to have a bathroom, has to have appropriate egress, has to have a kitchen, so on and so forth. The cost scope would likely be prohibitive to a lot of people. You know, you're going to have to run plumbing, electric. I mean, there's a lot of things that would have to go into adding these to a potential property. The other, you know, if you're looking at how this is rolled out locally, the other place I would look at maybe is the town of Colony. So they've had an ADU program in place. It is slow going. They have about 60 ADUs townwide since they put that into place. And that's been over several years. So I know that there's a lot of discomfort with the idea that all of a sudden you're going to have multi-unit housing all over the city. I don't think that's the case. The current process for us is to do this through BZA. So you have lots of non-conforming properties within R1 districts. Those are your single-family home districts or single-family zone districts that already have essentially what would constitute as an ADU in the house. However, there's not a code within the city currently to guide that process. So the BZA may approve something, and the same type of plan may be denied by BZA in another area of the city simply because neighbors don't like it, don't want it. But there's no consistent rules or parameters right now under building these, and the law does put that into place. I don't know if that answers all of your questions, but I think it touched on a lot of.
I will say that it would be nice, and maybe this exists, but it would be nice if that were all pulled together in a package that could be looked at and digested by people generally in the city. I did go to I went to the site that was mentioned in the announcement for the public hearing on the Common Council website, where it said that efforts would be made to put the documents out there, supporting documents, backup documents. And I couldn't find them, but that might be me and my computer having a disagreement. I don't know. But is there a one-stop shopping kind of place to find that?
We did have some PowerPoints that went over a huge component of this.
All right.
Is there anything that I didn't cover for you?
No, I don't think, not.
Okay.
We got another, sir, we have another member with a question.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I think it'd be wise to go to YouTube and you can just do a search on Common Council, City of Albany Common Council Planning Committee, which I'm a member of, and I'm the only member who voted not to pass this legislation through because I felt, after talking to the department heads, like the fire department, like the water department, like the assessor's office, that there are issues that we haven't dealt with yet. And to say that, well, it's just, not everybody's going to put up an accessory unit,
Kelly?
a separate building in the
Kelly?
back. Yes, sir.
Oh, just a question, right? You're supposed to ask just a question, not...
Well, I'm asking a question that I just hope that you'll see this, and when you do watch it, that you can see some of the stuff. And my fellow council member made statements about Colony, and I brought up that I have no problem with Colony's law. Their law was really good. And I was told by our planning department that it was too restrictive. It's too restrictive for Albany. We want to allow more than what Colony does. But Colony has provisions that if you want to put a relative or a mother-in-law or a father-in-law living with you, when that person passes or if you decide to move, that ADU unit has to come out. That's the big difference between what we're doing and what Colony did. So I just hope that you look at it and, it's important for the public to know. And to try to tell me to stop when the information isn't being put out there right is pretty ingenuous. So, but thank you for coming. Thank you. You're the only one to do it. There was over 4,000 hits on Nextdoor with people reading about the ADUs, but maybe people didn't realize they had to come in and talk.
Mr. Hoey, you got to ask a question, buddy.
And my question is, what do you think of our council? Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
like them.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Anything else? No? Thank you.
All right, with that, the hearing is closed. Next, we'll move on to public comment. So, folks are allowed to come and speak for 5 minutes about the topic of their choice. Call the first person on the list.
M. McCauley.
You have 5 minutes to speak on any topic you choose. Begin
Thank
with
you.
your name and address.
The stated purpose of the ADU legislation is to solve affordable housing needs in the city.
Ma'am, who are you?
Can you state your name?
Can you state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maureen McCauley. I live on Danker Avenue in Albany in the 13th Ward.
Thank you.
I have hearing aids that don't work. Okay. So, sorry. The stated purpose of the legislation is to solve affordable housing needs in the city of Albany. The reality is that as data based on experience of states and other municipalities who have had ADU development shows that is disappointing when it comes to doing anything except the minimum for affordable housing. The results, they say, are not only disappointing, but lackluster. They don't even come close to solving those needs anywhere. This is reflected in the change of language, that instead of this is going to be the solution, you see a retreat from that to it's a tool in the toolbox. It's going in the right direction. It's not a magic bullet. Minnesota was very disappointing results with one of their cities. I think it was St. Paul. I think after 3 years, they only had one ADU that was built. And they came to the conclusion that if they were going to do anything that was really going to be effective, that they were going to need multi-level units. So if this ADU legislation, as data shows, is not going to have the effect that is desired, what is it about? I'll tell you what the legislation does. The legislation has a lot of questions that are important questions that have not been answered. I watched one of the YouTube videos, and at the time, there was a question asked about, well, what about infrastructure needs? What about sewer? What about water? What about electricity? And as far as I know, there hasn't been an infrastructure to support. I think our sewers in Albany are over 100 years old, so I don't know whether taxing them, what result that is going to have. The other thing that's going to happen is that there are going to be automatic property tax increases. If you build an ADU in your backyard, according to the real property law and the tax assessor, the operation of the real property law will raise the taxes of the ADU unit and all the other houses that do not have units, so automatically, because they're in a group of types of houses. It's also going to take away any sort of process that residents currently have to oppose construction of any ADU unit, no matter the impact or imminent danger to property. There's no enforcement, there's no oversight, there's no parking set aside. So what is this about? ADUs currently exist in Albany, according to the assessor. I think he said there were 14 to 16 currently, and there were a number of permits requested for a few more, but it was just a few. So it's not that you can't have an ADU in Albany. You can. If you want to build a flat for your elderly relatives, or you have college students who you think you want to live with, you can do that. You can just do it right now. But what you can't do it, and what this legislation changes, is that now you have a by right permission, which means that as long as you construct an ADU, according to the parameters in the legislation, you can do so without oversight and without due process. Will ADUs change market rents or affordability? Unlikely. Unlikely, with building costs being what they are, somewhere upwards of $150,000, and the estimate of a return on investment taking 11 years, it is unlikely that there's going to be anything less than a market rate that is requested. And because ADUs are primarily rental units, any income that is generated can be easily interrupted by the landlord-tenant relationship. And the fact that the city has a good cause eviction means that if you have your income, your rental income interrupted for 5 months before you can evict the tenant, and then the tenant trashes the place on the way out, that is going to put a serious dent in your return on investment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say one more thing. I couldn't find any of the materials that you were talking about, and did not know until a couple of weeks ago
Time is up.
what an ADU was.
Carl Ulrich.
Good evening. Carl Urick, 80 Lenox Avenue. So thanks for the opportunity to speak during the public comment period. By way of introduction, I live in the Buckingham Pond neighborhood. My day job and expertise is in data and analytics, frequently looking at data that comes from cities, counties, states, et cetera, and figuring out how to make decisions with that data. I'm part of a small team that earlier this year began gathering the city's public data through open data and FOIL requests, analyzing and writing stories and posting those stories on a website, albanyDataStories.com. One of the data sets that we analyzed was the school speed camera citation data. It's in the context of that data that I want to speak to the council about two things. First, to comment on findings about the revenue side of the school speed camera program, and secondly, to comment on the city's availability of public data. This February, we submitted a FOIL to acquire the data from the school speed camera. Typical stuff. Every citation, where it happened, time of day, etc. In early June, after over 3 months and numerous denials, we did receive the first set of data. Our team reviewed the speed camera citation data. We were specifically focused on the revenue side. We like the speed camera program for the child safety side. That was not an issue. Our concern was how realistic is generating $6 million in collected net revenue from the program. We won't get into the details of the statistical modeling that we did, but it was pretty basic. We looked at revenue to date and projected out revenue for the remainder of the year. Our modeling suggests that the speed camera will not generate $6 million of collected revenue. Rather, our modeling suggests the system will generate between $2 million and $2.6 million of collected revenue after accounting for obligations to the vendors and accounting for a reasonable payment rate. Put another way, flipping it around, we predict that there will be a $3.4 to $4 million shortfall in the line item for the speed camera program. It's July. It's good to know about these things if you don't already know them. As an Albany resident, I'm bringing this up because there's a material hole in our budget, a 1.5% shortfall minimum against the overall city budget. Is this news to anyone? Has this been brought up? Is the city evaluating the operations and outcomes of new multi-million-dollar revenue streams? And this brings me to the second point. I'm a big believer that government transparency starts with availability of information, data. Public data and its availability, even after 3 months of requests, allowed my team to analyze the projected shortfalls in the speed camera program against budget. The city's data is the public's data. It's your data, it's my data, but it sure as heck isn't just the city's data. We want public data to be available to anyone. We want a working system that allows the city to proactively make data available through an open data site and to respond in time-sensitive manners to FOIL requests. Setting aside that the city needs to comply with New York State open government statute, making public data available allows for government transparency. It assists anyone looking to analyze or understand the city of Albany, and it informs journalistic and academic work, among other things. Typically, cities that are committed to government transparency make public data readily available using robust open data websites and responsive FOIL systems. Unfortunately, Albany has neither of these. Our open data website, data.albany.gov, has not been meaningfully updated since 2020. Our FOIL system is not working either. From personal experience submitting a large number of FOILs, there's rarely a responsiveness within the New York State statutory required time period. In closing, I would ask the council to do two things. First, if you weren't already aware of a large projected shortfall in the school speed camera revenue line item, I would ask questions, get an appropriate level of accountability and disclosure. Secondly, I would encourage the council to ask yourselves if we want to be a city that has a transparent government, as evidenced by our policies on open and public data. As you explore these two things, I'd be more than happy to help with that conversation as a concerned citizen. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Karen Kniff.
Good evening, everybody. I am Karen Kniff. I live on Croswell Street in Albany. And I thank you for this opportunity to share my views with you. Tonight, I am asking this council to postpone a vote on the ordinance 68-121-24, amending the USDO, permitting ADUs in Albany. And I also want to add in the amendment that would be, or excuse me, the resolution that is piggybacked on that one for the Common Council to be the lead agency on the seeker. It's just not a good idea to keep them together. Also, I'd like you to hold the vote for the ordinance 23-81-24, amending Chapter 375 of the USDO, allowing 1, 2, and 3 unit dwellings as permitted uses in the MU-C1 zoned areas, along with its piggybacked resolution for the Common Council to be the lead agency and the seeker on that case. The concerns that have been raised on ADUs and the high density of plot coverage are detrimental to the quality of life in our city. We should not blindly approve them. Creating shingle-to-shingle small dwellings will surely destroy our little neighborhoods. This bill, as was said before, denies the public an opportunity to oppose construction of any residential units. Is this even legal? Can you guys tell me, is this legal? Is this constitutional? So when I spoke to this council on June 4th of this year, I expressed my surprise that I had not seen or heard a public notice. Again, the public has not been properly informed, and you've heard this again tonight. And I'm asking you to hold any votes on the ADUs or amendments to the USDO until the public is informed and educated, receive their feedback, and then put this to a referendum. It is the people's city, and you should allow them to decide on this. I'd like a referendum. While I was trying to find out more about ADUs in the city, or ADUs in general, I ran into some information on the city of Buffalo. Buffalo has a very proactive relationship with its residents. They provide a legible pamphlet to educate residents on land use. It describes public notice required by law. They use the local newspaper. I don't find digging into the city's website to find Common Council business notifying the public. And I suggest we find alternatives so the public can be informed. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so that's all of the public comment we have this evening, so public comment period is over. Okay, next on to approval of minutes from previous meeting. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed the minutes from July 7th, 2025, and ask for their approval.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next, okay. No local laws to consider. Reports of standing committees. Any reports? Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Committee met, give me a second, I'll get you a date, on July 9th, sorry about that. And we passed out of committee with a passed recommendation Where's the ordinance number? Where's the ordinance number? Well, we passed out with a positive recommendation and amendments, the accessory entertainment bill. So we will be asking this body to reintroduce that ordinance with amendments. Thank you.
Is that ordinance 34125? Yep. Okay. Any other reports? Okay. Reports of ad hoc committees, no? Okay, moving right along, consideration of ordinances. Ms. Farrell, for Ms. Love, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilmember Love, I notice ordinance 117125 and ask for its introduction.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the grant of an aerial easement to CIDC Albany Center LLC over certain right-of-ways on Howard and Wendell Streets.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
That will go to planning.
Planning. Okay. Next one for me, please. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilmember Kimbrough, I notice ordinance 127225 and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will you please read the ordinance?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the grant of an easement to Center Square LLC over a portion of the city right-of-way adjacent to 1233 Broadway, also known as 33 Center Street, tax map parcel number 66.29-2-59.
Ms. Farrell?
That will go to planning as well.
Okay. Keep writing on there. Okay, Chair recognizes Mr. Conti for purposes of amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to amend ordinance 3.41.25 and as amended request it be held.
Okay. Okay. Next,
The rest of the ordinances are held.
what I miss? Yes, thank you, Ms. Farrell. I was coming to you. And coming to you with resolutions, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 817225R and ask for its introduction and passage.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell. Madam Clerk?
A resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Climate Smart Communities Grant Program for state assistance in funding the City of Albany Natural Resource Inventory Project.
Any discussion? Ms. Farrell?
I would note that this is one of several resolutions in support of funding for various things for our city, including looking at our natural resources. We're already aware of some of the resources we have. This is an opportunity to make sure that we're taking care of our environment, but also taking advantage of all of the different possibilities that we can have to be more sustainable.
Thank you. Any further? Please call the roll.
Adams?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani? Valorem?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Conti?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Farrell?
Yes.
Frederick?
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson?
Yes.
Keegan?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough?
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in affirmative.
Thank you. Motion passes. Next, resolution, Ms. Farrell, you're on a roll. For Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilmember Robinson, I notice resolution 827225R and ask for its introduction and passage.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance. or resolution, excuse me.
A resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Environmental Protection Fund Grant Program for Parks Preservation and Heritage for state assistance in funding towards the Swinburne Park Ice Rink Roof and Park Plan Project.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani. Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in the affirmative.
Motion passes. Next, Mr. Bowern.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 83.72.25R and ask for its consideration.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the New York State Department of State Smart Growth Community Planning Program for state assistance in funding the Albany 2030 Comprehensive Plan Update Project.
Any discussion? Bowern? No? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in the affirmative.
Thank you. The motion passes. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 847225R and ask for its introduction and passage.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Climate Smart Communities Grant Program for state assistance in funding the City of Albany's HVAC feasibility study project.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Next, on to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 85.72.25R, and I ask for its introduction and voice vote.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council supporting the City of Albany in its application to the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Environmental Protection Fund Grant Program for Parks Preservation and Heritage for state assistance in funding towards the Lincoln Park Northwood Landscape Architecture and Design Plan Project. I read it.
Yes, yes, okay. Any discussion? Mr. Johnson, no? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in the affirmative.
And we get the Ks. No, the motion passes. Next, to Mr. Anani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 8672.25R and ask for its passage on the roll call thereon.
Thank you. Clerk, please.
I got you. A resolution of the Common Council declaring its intent to act as lead agency for the State Environmental Quality Review of Ordinance 238124 and declaring it a Type 1 action.
Any discussion?
No, there's no discussion, but this is typical stuff.
Yeah, no, you don't want to, because Mr. Clark wants to speak also.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah.
Mr. Clark?
I just think it'd be more appropriate if the planning board served as lead agency for changes to the USDO, because that board is more familiar with the seeker process and could comment on that. So I'll be voting no on the next two resolutions.
I'm sorry, what?
Seeker requires a coordinated review, and I just think the city's planning board is better equipped to review seeker for changes to the USDO than this Common Council.
I'm told it was also done in conjunction with the planning department. It was.
If we're just declaring ourselves lead agency, then nothing has been done with the involved agency at this point. We would have to send notice to planning after this is passed, if it's passed. I'm just stating my comment on it.
Okay. Good. Yes, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Clark.
No.
Conti.
No.
Farrell.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
No.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
8 in the affirmative.
You're gonna call Robinson.
Robinson, I'm sorry.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative, 3 no.
Okay, the motion passes. All right. I didn't either. Okay, Mr. Anani.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I noticed resolution 8772.25R, and I first passage on a roll call. There are.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council consenting to the, this is reappointment, correct? I believe it is. Oh, excuse me, I skipped one. A resolution of the Common Council declaring its intent to act as lead agency for the State Environmental Quality Review of Ordinance 68-121-24 and declaring it a Type 1 action.
Okay. Any discussion? No? Mr. Clark?
No discussion.
Same comment? Yeah. Okay. Please call roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes.
Valorant.
Yes.
Clark.
No.
Conti.
No.
Farrell.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Hoey.
No.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
9 in the affirmative, 3 no.
The motion passes. Okay, Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed resolution 8872-25R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Ballerin. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council consenting to the reappointment of Paige Barnum to the City of Albany's Planning Board.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell?
That will go to planning.
Okay. Great. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 89.72.25R, and asks for its reading and introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Ballerin. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council consenting to the appointment of Celeste Roller Harp to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
That will go to planning.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. I'll need the motion to add.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed, I'd like to add by majority consent, resolutions 90, 7225R, 91, 7225R, and 92, 7225R to the agenda.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I notice resolution 90.72.25R and asks for its introduction and passage.
Thank you, Mr. Ballerin. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution supporting the Albany County Department of Economic Development, Conservation and Planning in its application to the New York State Department of State Smart Growth Community Planning Program for state assistance in funding the Albany County Comprehensive Plan Project.
Thank you. Any discussion? Mr. Ballerin? No? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani. Ballerin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson.
Yes.
12 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Next, Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 91.72.25R and asks for its introduction and passage.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Common Council supporting the Community Land Fund of the Capital Region Incorporated in its application to New York State Homes and Community Renewal for state assistance in funding the South End Main Street Development Project in the city of Albany.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani. Ballerin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor.
12 in the affirmative.
Motion passes. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice resolution 92.72.25R and asks for its introduction and passage.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution of the Common Council in support of Capitol Streets in its application to New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Preservation Environmental Protection Fund Grant Program for Parks, Preservation, and Heritage.
Thank you. Any discussion? None. Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani. Ballerin.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Clark.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Frederick.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Kimbrough.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Robinson.
Yes, co-sponsor.
12 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Okay, so that's it for legislation on the agenda. Moving on to miscellaneous. Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer the updated Violence Prevention Task Force membership and ask for its vote.
Okay, all right, so for Mr. Hoey's thing there, we'll do a voice vote on it. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. The next, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to discuss, because we know that there's some lawsuits that's coming against the city, and I just wanted to have a conversation about the Stephen Reifus law firm and how that is, I guess my question is, delaying these lawsuits, and are we paying this law firm money while we keep delaying the lawsuits? You know, as long as they prolong, do this law firm get paid more, and then the city still ends up having to pay out a settlement to some of these cases? So I'm just trying to understand how the Reifus law firm is being utilized in those lawsuits, how that is panning out.
Yeah. So I believe it's just, I'm not an attorney, but I believe it's just a retainer agreement, but we can get the staff to inquire
Yeah,
the
I
administration
would like to
on-
know
on how
'cause
that works.
I guess because that question was presented to me, I had no answer for them. And when they explained why they were asking that question, they explained it because it's their knowledge that these lawsuits are just lingering around, and they're wondering why it's taking so long for action to be taken. And if, because the lawsuit is taking long, is this law firm being paid monies that
Yeah.
the city could potentially avoid paying if they responded to the suits a little bit faster?
Yeah, I think they're retained to represent us on a bunch of matters, so I don't think they're
Seemed
sitting
like-
around, waiting, but again, we'll get a question, a response for you. Who's next? Mr. Clark.
Just a comment on process, I would ask that leadership move any executive sessions to the end of the meeting. I think the delay tonight was unfair to the public, and executive session could have easily been held after our regular business. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Adams, then Ms. Farrell.
Thank you. Just as an update, if we're giving comments, was just asking for the General Service Committee, hopefully that a rescheduled meeting is coming up. Again, we have advocates and people who are looking to present to this committee to bring up, again, the topic of fluoridation, yes, but to get questions answered. There's been a few changes over the last couple of months within the legislation, and especially with budgetary items dealing with that has not been provided to us as an update. So to be able to get an update from the General Services Committee about those changes, where we are in this process with the fluoridation, and what are the next steps coming from this. Those are the questions I've been asking for several months now, and at this point I'm just asking for the General Service Committee to hopefully meet soon to be able to provide us with an update as to where we are.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Ms. Farrell.
I just wanted to know, in reference to Councilmember Johnson's request, since we do have Mr. McGee, maybe at a future caucus, if you wouldn't mind just talking the process. Obviously, when it comes through to specific cases, we know that you would not be able to talk specifics, but it would be helpful to, I think, for all of us to just have a better understanding of how the outside counsel works, what we have inside, because I know that that's changed over the years, and especially, I would find that would be a great refresher before budget too, as that makes changes. So not immediately or not right now, but maybe at some point in the future, it would be really helpful if you wouldn't mind talking through that.
Yeah, be happy to do that. I think that'd be great. Thank you.
Mr. Hoey.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Just real fast, speaking of the CPRB, we do have a vacancy, and we haven't been getting a lot of applications. We would like to have a pool, so reach out to your wards. If you know somebody that might be interested, we would definitely like to have them apply. And just, there was a comment made about that it's a volunteer. They do pay a $3,000 a year stipend to serve on the CPRB. So I just want to make sure all the members realize that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoey. Ms. Farrell?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Aye.